Good day, everyone, and welcome back to this space. I'm Loba, and on here, I do movie reviews and reality TV shows conversation. I'll be discussing the second part of the Mommy Club reunion season 3. So let's get into it. But one very first thing I know for sure, or when it comes to seeing this episode of the Mommy Club reunion, I can tell you for a fact that I was bored. I struggled to finish it, and I felt like the reunion was a very long, boring episode that I was frustrated with. And it seemed more like a therapy session than a reunion is supposed to be. But it is what it is. But was what's the intention of reunion meant to be achieved? Yes, it was. So let's discuss the cast and what it seemed like for them at this reunion. Starting off with Sande. Sande, this second part of the reunion, sat there all season or all episode, and I can't remember the moment she spoke. She was just there, and which actually reflects how she was not so much of a cast, how she was just a there cast on the show. Moving on from Sunday, we had Hermajesty. I think Hermajesty is a cast on this show that they did really do so well to give her limelight let us see so much about her. It's so frustrating to hear from Miss J that she filmed a part of probably showcasing herself as a mother and trying to showcase her dynamic with her children, but that did not make it to the show, which is sad, but it is what it is. Hopefully the production will do better. And speaking of Her Majesty, I think Her Majesty was a great part of the show. We saw so much with Her Majesty. Well, what is it about her at the reunion? Her Majesty came onto this reunion strategic, and she's seen the show. She has seen Her Majesty has always been a good part of the show, and they will always showcase everything Her Majesty, from being a cast of the show and being a mother and a struggle as a mother, which is an interesting one. But there is something that comes to Her Majesty this episode or this season. She is so remorseful, and I think she understands that whatsoever had happened this season is not the best portrayal of herself, and she needs to come to this reunion, be remorseful, be apologetic, and try to showcase that yes, this is on me, or if I had done this, I am taking accountability and I'll do better. And I think that is one of the best ways to just do a good damage control for yourself on a show like this. Then for our situation with Titi, I find it very funny, and I know that will be a big drama coming season, because Titi is of the view that she do not want to be she do not want to be filmed, she do not want to be on TV and whatnot. And the crazy thing is that I think Titi loved this, but she's just being dramatic, just as Her Majesty has always been. I feel like in subsequent season, if Her Majesty decides to be part of this show and she chose not to have anything to do with Titi, no filming of Titi, she only showcases her dynamic with her older children, Titi will still come on to complain about how she is being probably marginalized or being sex. I understand that it might be a very hard one for Titi, having to showcase her life and probably some things of being judged, but I think it's a thing that she will still make tantrum and be very dramatic about if they decide not to make her part of this show, because I think she likes it. But because this season she's done a lot which she feels probably she's been judged for, she feels like, oh, okay, I don't want to be filmed. If I were to be Her Majesty, I'm going to try like a season where we do not discuss her, we do not film her, she's not part of the shooting and all of that. And let us see how she will feel without it. So that's my view for the child dynamic. In moving on to Vuyi, I think Vuyi is a cast on this show that I find very frustrating, funny, and annoying to see her standing her ground when all of that is so wrong, or probably why would she think she can come defend everything she has done? I guess it's those few fans of the show that keep defending such attitude. Probably they were the ones who gave her the need to come onto this reunion to want to defend whatever she has done as a cast of the show, and especially to regard the bullying situation. I find it funny, but to an extent, I feel like, okay, it's spicing the show. It's making the show relevant, because if probably everybody were just being apologetic, the season would just come. The reunion will just comes to an end so fast. But it is not a good one to do, because she did look like a witch, seeing her stand her ground that, and the lack of accountability for a good number of things she did bad. She did bad. Moving on to the next is Noksie. I feel like Noksie was a good part of the show, but her situation was not the best. But a part of me felt like she was doing too much when she started crying heavily, and I'm like, my God, is it this bad? But you can't tell people how they should react to things and how they should feel about some certain things. I think I love Rosette as a friend and how she came to defend Noksie, and I think it still boils down the fact that they were so quick to attack Rosette and called Rosette spokesperson for Noksie. It did re-emphasize the fact that since they are bullying this person, and this person is coming with someone who can really help her fight her battle, they are going to feel threatened and they want to also shame her for such situation. I think it's a bullying tactic, and it's a more perspective to understand that these people are what they call them to be. And Mrs. J, I think Mrs. J was the spice of the show. She was that person who came hot, trying to, go for whatever she needs to go. Then she addressed the bleaching situation. It was a very big one. I do not know what stand I can take. I do not know if I'll say, oh, truly she's bleaching, but she claims she's not bleaching. But I understand her view when it's come, because she's someone who really did have conversation with people to regard herself as she feel, rather than going on to start a group of people where they go on to probably gossip other people. So it is understandable if she's coming on to attack Vuyi, that you could have had that conversation with me rather than having that conversation with the other ladies of the show. So this season is not the best season of the Mommy Club, but I think it is not as bad as, it's not the best season, but hopefully we can see better seasons of the show. This is all I'll be discussing for the reunion part 2 of the Mommy Club. Bye here, and see you guys next time.